We're good.
Marissa,
May have.
Marissa,
Yeah,
can you do me a favor? Can you send Kate Steele the link to the meeting? She's having trouble getting in.
sure. I'll send it to her right now.
Thanks so much.
Did they pre-order?
All right. Marissa,
Yep.
can you text Kate the link rather than email?
I don't think I have her cell phone, but
I can send you. the contact.
sure, that's fine. Yep.
Get started. It is 6:01 and I'd like to call the East Line Board of Ed regular meeting to order. Those of you who can stand, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the
United States of America. To the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Beginning of our meetings, we do read our East Line Public School Mission Statement, which is also behind me on the wall. East Line Public Schools will inspire, engage, and educate each student to become a contributing citizen and a responsible, independent, and critical thinker. We do have a special recognition tonight, the Viking Valor for Coach Rachel Redding, and appreciate all that you've done over the many years of coaching soccer, and I'll turn it over to Jeff to,
All right, Mr. Marcoux is trying to run in from the soccer game bell, but I am going to read some information, and then if he joins us, that's great, but first of all, welcome again.
Thank you.
We're glad we were away for here. East Line Public Schools and the athletic department are proud to recommend our East Line High School girls soccer coach Rachel Redding for the Viking Valor Award. Coach Redding recently informed the department that she was retiring from coaching following the 2025 season. Coach Redding has led the program since 2005, accumulating a career record of 225 wins, 127 losses, and 33 ties. The 225 wins is the most in school history. She has led the program to 2 undefeated regular seasons, 2012 and 2014, and 4 ECC tournament championships, 2012, 2013, 14, and 16, and 7 ECC regular season division championships. During a stretch from 2012 to 2016, her teams went 88-11 and 4. and included 9 all-state players as well as 2 of the day area players of the year. The 2019 team reached the Class L state championship game, falling to Guilford 2-1. East Lyme Athletics would like to thank Coach Redding for her many years of service, as our public school system wants to thank her as well, for her years of service to our girls soccer program. She retires from her coaching career as the all-time leader in wins as a head coach for the program, 225 and counting. In addition to her coaching ability, Coach Redding served as an incredible positive role model and mentor to our student athletes. She demanded the very best from her players on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. She taught lessons that will stay with her players well into their adult lives. East Lyme Athletics extends deepest gratitude for her dedication to our girls soccer program and the incredible amount of time and energy she invested to make it a widely respected program throughout the conference and the state. So Rachel, thank you so much. And if you want to come up, Lisa,
I want to get up.
our board members want to join us too. Come on up.
You can vote. Go ahead.
Go since it's window bank.
Great statistics there.
So much, yes. We have a Viking Valor here, Rachel, which reads, East Lyme Public Schools Viking Valor Award presented to Rachel Redding in recognition of her 21 years of outstanding and dedicated coaching for the East Lyme High School girls soccer team, given the 3rd day of November, 2025.
Okay.
Thanks. Hey, ruined my movement. Congratulations. All right.
Hold on, sorry.
Nope, there you go.
Okay.
Perfect. We good?
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Here we go. Mr. Marcoux walked in the door.
Annie?
No, thank God. We're good.
You don't want to share it?
Oh, I'm good.
She asked me when I was confirmed with her again, 6 o'clock, we'll make sure you're there. I didn't say anything.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you, Rachel.
Yes, thank you for the information.
We just got the games.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Very nice.
Thank you again, Richard, for a storied coaching career.
Thank you. Big win tomorrow.
Good luck.
Go Vikes. Next order of business is public comment. Public comment. Public comment. Public comment. Hearing none. Closes public comment, move on to special reports, and we have Annie here to our East Lyme High School update.
So this week at East Lyme High School has been full of energy, excitement, and well-deserved celebration. From big wins on the field to creative achievements in the arts, there's a lot to be grateful for as we head into November. So with the November 1st college application deadline finally behind, senior students are finally exhaling. The stress of essays and recommendation letters has eased, replaced by relief and a well-earned sense of accomplishment. We want to give a huge shout out to everyone in the counseling office for their diligence and continued support of us through this process. East Lyme High School is also celebrating an incredible fall sports season. Girls volleyball, boys soccer, girls swim, boys cross country, and girls cross country all brought home ECC championship titles. The energy around East Lyme is electric as we cheer on these teams heading into states. My other counterparts are away competing in the boys state soccer tournament today, and we're wishing them luck and can't wait to see what they bring. The ELHS Drama Club is also preparing for the importance of being earnest, and it runs this week from November 6th through the 9th. Rehearsals have been lively, and the cast is eager to share their work with the community. Spirit Week kicks off next week as well, and the seniors are already practicing for the events, and they're determined to take home a win and keep the tradition alive. Lastly, the Intergenerational Poetry Project is starting to meet, and students are planning meeting days with their interviewees. We are excited to share stories about their lives and the East Lyme community through poetry. So as November begins, ELHS is moving full speed ahead. Academics, athletics, and school spirit are all in full swing. Thank you.
Thanks, Annie.
Thank you.
Amy?
Are you in the play this time?
No, I'm not. I did not have time.
No, usually, I know you're usually in them.
Yes,
I
I am.
Thanks, Annie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll move on to our selectman representative. We have Jason Eagle here.
Hello, everyone. So there's been a lot of boring stuff happening. This is being considered, nothing particularly exciting. There are a few interesting items that could impact Board of Ed stuff. My friend here just spoke about an intergenerational poetry project. An idea that's been floated at the Board of Selectmen is to create an official poet laureate for the town of East Lyme. There's been different people in our community kind of exploring that possibility, folks at the Book Barn, folks at the library. We're willing to have folks from the Board of Ed consider the opportunity too. In addition to that, at our last meeting, Brookside Farm Museum curator Anna Perch came and gave a really great presentation about all the things that she does and all the things her museum does. And it has such great proximity to the middle school to really be, it's a real gem for East Lyme, an asset to our community, and could be a great partner for you guys if you ever decide you want to or educators that work here want to send students on a walking field trip or something. They're a really great resource with all kinds of interesting artifacts, interesting architecture, interesting stories. And yeah, I was really pleased with that. Beyond that, I don't have too much to share. You are forward to the budgeting process. Yep. I understand that several people on this board are up for election tomorrow, and I wish you all best of luck and see you on the other side.
Thanks, Jason. Any questions for Jason? Thanks so much, Jason. Appreciate your comments. Okay, moving on, we have a consent agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as posted.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, opposed, abstained. Consent agenda passes unanimously. Just quickly, in the consent agenda, there were two items. One were approval of meeting minutes, and the second is us designating Jamie as our CABE Delegate Assembly representative. So she will be the one at our CABE Assembly who holds the paddle when we vote as for collectively for East Lyme on the CABE items. So he has done it for forever, a long time, and appreciate Jamie doing that for us. Moving on, discussion and action, instruction, first item is artificial intelligence, elementary presentation, and I'll turn it over.
Do you want to say something?
Yeah, let me just welcome first Heather Bluegree and Gil Gallant, and we have some students that they're going to introduce, and Mrs. Showman is here as well. And you want to give a little?
Yeah, I'd like to just set some context for the board, if that's okay. Thank you for all of our presenters for being here this evening, especially. We've got Elizabeth and Alex here from Flanders, our fourth graders, who are going to share a little bit about their experience with you. But before I turn it over to them, I want to just sort of set the context. So Heather Delucre and Gil Gallant are a part of our district-wide technology committee. Last year, we did some action research projects in AI, sort of like field testing in terms of what's out there and available for us and how might this support building students' capacity around understanding and use of AI. And so this really came out of some of that work of our committee last year. And they'll explain a little bit more about what that looks like. I don't want to steal their thunder. But I will just tell you what excites me most about this project at the elementary level when we talk about building students' capacity and understanding of AI, in that it enhances learning. It does not replace learning, which we know is really an important component of our work.
Grant, are you able to mute them? Can everyone please go on mute who's on the Zoom?
Kate's up there.
Are we good now? I think so. I think the feedback's gone. So anyway, we are looking to build students' capacity around the use of AI and how it enhances learning and not replaces learning. That's really important when we talk about elementary ed. So without further ado, I will pass it over to our team who's going to present.
And we have a presentation coming up?
Yeah, Grant,
Yep, Grant's.
switch over to that, yep.
All right. Thanks for having us. We're super excited about our little presentation tonight. It does enhance how we find books, and just like you as adults, we're always looking for books and ways to find the next good book. So AI is just something we piloted last spring and then again this fall with fourth grade in the elementary. Explain.
So Heather had talked about how she really wanted another way to get kids to find book suggestions, especially when she's all by herself in the library and has to check in, check out books. She wanted to have another way to allow kids to kind of find books of their interest. So most kids already look at the displays and they ask each other for advice. And of course, that's Mrs. DeLucre, but we thought it would be a nice way to use AI. If we could kind of train the chatbot to answer their questions based on books they had previously read or enjoyed. So we kind of gave it some parameters around that and guardrails to make sure that it wasn't just going willy-nilly out there answering their questions. Also, we kept it limited to fiction books because there's a lot more of that available in our library at Flanders.
Yeah, it just didn't work as well when we piloted it as teachers with nonfiction at the elementary level, and it hit home with fiction chapter books in fourth grade. Out of the suggestions of like 4 or 5 books, we felt like we had at least 2 or 3 every time at the Flanders Library, and if not, some at Lily B or Niantic Center. So every title we use kind of hit home. You ready, Alex? All right, here we go. Next one.
So, ways we find books. We use Destiny in our school. We sometimes look and browse, talk to friends, family, ask a librarian like Mr. Lucre, or search a favorite topic. AI is another tool in the toolbox, which we can use to find one of our favorite books.
Certainly won't replace those. It's just another one to add to the list to find the next good book.
AI enhances learning, not replaces
So when the kids first sign on to Magic School, they do have to acknowledge that, that they're going to let themselves do the work, that the AI is not perfect, that it does make mistakes, it is a learning model. And of course, it's not brand new. So when it was taught, it's really 2 or 3 years old information. So, it's not going to give them the best information because Mrs. DeLucre knows more about books that have just come out,
Yeah.
as compared to books that may have come out 10 or 15 years ago. But we also gave it some parameters about only recommending books that would be appropriate for a 10-year-old. We didn't want to have it recommending books that would be for middle school or higher. And of course, based on what the students previously stated they enjoyed. So here's an example of the chatbot giving a response. We use the Magic School book suggestion chatbot, and it just says, hello there. I'd like to know what book you're interested in so I can give you some advice. And then, of course, we gave a prompt about 5 fiction books that a 10-year-old would enjoy if they had enjoyed the book because of Winn-Dixie.
Elizabeth's going to share her experience.
During Magic School, I typed in the prompt and searched up Because of Winn-Dixie, books based on Because of Winn-Dixie. Then 4 other options. I chose The One and Only Ivan. I read the description out there because I wanted to read more like animal friendships, and I read The One and Only Bob, so I wanted to continue this series.
Nice job. So she ended up walking away with her book that day. Now, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of other work that went into it. Like, how did you figure out if we had these? And she went to Destiny and had to look up the title or the author to see if we had them at Flanders, if they were checked in, if they were checked out. So it was definitely a 4th grade project to go search for their books, but appropriate. And she found this one and checked it out. And that was her book recommendation.
We also encourage the children to kind of ask follow-up questions based on the output. So like, why did you recommend this book? I asked you for 5 books, you only gave me 4. That kind of following up with the AI to kind of have a little bit of a conversation based on the output that they received, because some kids did ask, what other books would you recommend based on this, or what connection are you making? But I thought it did a pretty good job of explaining why it picked these 4 books,
Mhm.
based on what they had entered.
Yes, working hard in the library, in the stacks, going to Destiny, finding the book, right? We did end, do you want to talk a little about this, Alex? We did end with talking about, how did this go for us? Like, is this another way we could find books or not find books? So our exit ticket wasn't written, it was just with thumbs, like, were you able to find a book that you would like to check out today? Are you excited to read this book? Is this something you actually would like? And I think out of the 18 that day, because we had 1 or 2 absent, it was like 8 students out of the 18 walked away with a book from this one trial pilot run.
This was from last year when we were using Securely, which is a similar chat program. Securely is basically the program we use to monitor kids in the classroom. So based on that information, we had the kids do a pre-assessment of how they would find a book. And then after learning about the chatbots, kind of, seeing if that made any impact. The same thing, we saw quite a growth in the amount of willingness to use AI to find a book, but they still were depending on human interaction. They still wanted to ask Mrs. DeLuca or ask each other, or just browse the book. So it's not going to replace that at all. Just another tool in their toolbox to think about, what might they do if they have Mrs. DeLuca too busy to find it for them. I also wanted to point out that this isn't the only pilot we did last year. There were so many classrooms doing so many great AI activities. Some people were using chatbots to pretend that students were talking to the Apollo 11 astronauts. People were interacting with painters who had painted famous paintings, like the Sierra Nevada painting with Bernstadt. Some teachers were using it to interact with fiction characters like in Hatchet in the 4th grade curriculum. So a lot of testing and trying out last year. We did a lot of training, students and staff, and trying it out. And people are still using it this year in different ways. So it's been great to have it as a resource for all of us. So just one example, but there's quite a few still using it and trying it out in the class.
Guys, got anything else you want to add? Any questions for them? They're like ready to answer. Yeah.
I do. I have a question. Elizabeth, did you like The One and Only Ivan? Alex, what book did you end up getting?
One of my 4 choices, no, I typed in 5, was New Kid by Jerry Craft, which luckily my neighbor's house had that book, and I'm starting to like it.
Okay, just, all right. I can't wait to hear if you did like it, though.
I did like it.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting follow-up with the kids who checked out the
Like
book.
the recommendations that I had given them.
Yeah.
Nice little follow-up.
Yeah, what was better, like their friend's suggestion, teacher's suggestion, going on Destiny, looking to see how that is. That would be a great follow-up.
Yeah, The One and Only Ivan is a favorite in my house.
Yeah,
That's cute.
both are very popular.
Good. So the chat bot, how did you train it? Did you train it on the books that are available in?
Well, we just gave
I
it,
wish.
we just gave it the parameters that we wanted, but the chatbot is already trained by Magic School. So it's an actual app in their program that says book suggestions, but then you just tell it like for what age, what interest, what kind of limits you want on that. But it's already part of the Magic School programs for teachers and students. So we have been piloting that this year, but we can choose that as a chatbot that's already existing. We can make custom ones too, but this is one, pretty much all you have to do is tell it a few things and it's ready to go. And the kids get there through their class link and an invitation from the teacher, so we can either turn it off, pause it, delete it, whatever. So if it didn't work, we just turn it off.
And that's part of their library work too, is to then figure out like, okay, of these titles, which looks good? Now I have to go to the library catalog, see if we have this book at Flanders. Is it checked in? Is it checked out? Is it something I want? So they do that on a regular basis, whether they're getting recommendations from friends. I mean, when they go to Destiny, they know the book's there because it's our library catalog, but they hear about books and they sure do go to Destiny to see if we own it, to check it in or out. So they're used to like hearing about books or reading about books, going to see if it's there. It is some work after they get the suggestion to go get it.
We have taught them to think about challenging the AI a little bit, like how do you know what makes you pick that? It's okay to ask that follow-up question to see what the AI is pulling from? You know, where's it getting this information? You can even ask it to cite the source if you want to. Sometimes it can't, but it's okay to say, like, how do you know that? It makes you think that. What other books like you did? I know, I only gave them 4, a couple of them I only gave 4. So kids ask, what's another book? You know, just to see if it came up with another.
I have a comment, not really a question, but so I think this is a great use of AI. I mean, it really is. And personally, this is how I find my books to
Oh, wow.
read.
I was gonna ask you guys that, actually. It's fine, book.
And it is so helpful. So I used to download so many samples of books to try to find one that I actually am interested in. Even though they'd say, oh, if you like this, you'd like that. It was not a great hit. But the more I can give AI into why I like the book, so then it actually can think a little bit,
Yeah.
and then what it spits out. And I read, and give me 5 books or 4 books or whatever it gives, and I get really excited because I'm like, oh, these I think are right in line with why I liked that previous book. Because sometimes it may not. There might take a different aspect of the book that wasn't really what caught me. So anyway, I use it personally for the same thing. So I think it's a great way, and the hit rate is very high for me using AI in the books that I enjoy reading. So that's great. Keep exploring. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes.
Great job.
Okay, our next discussion action item for the night is we have an athletics update. Kevin, you're going to give us an update on today's meet, right?
There's lots going on today.
Okay.
Every day at East Lyme, which is wonderful.
Actually saw the video, which was very cool.
Oh, the,
Stayed
yeah,
open, yeah.
Stay open. Next question. You're welcome. Hi. So thank you for having me. I love coming because I always get a chance to just talk about all the great things that are happening in the athletic world at the high school, at the middle school and the high school. Just request that you not put me after the elementary school anymore. That's really hard. They're
Tough competition, Mr. Marcoon.
very, very impressive. So looking forward to working with them. Our 25 fall season is coming to an end. We are hot and heavy into the state tournaments right now. The only season that is still going on with the regular season is the football season, which the regular season finishes on Thanksgiving, the annual Thanksgiving Day game. We started on August 15th for our football, August 18th for the other teams, and here we are at the beginning of November, going strong and just representing East Lyme High School the way you would all hopefully anticipate that I do, and just doing a great job. So I just have a little bit of data there for you. The enrollment, the percentages are one of the highest that I see. I just asked my colleagues around the state and athletic directors. 35% is an incredible participation number. So very happy and thankful for that. Our coaches do a great job. The support of the community, the board, administration, all of that plays a huge role in the success of our student athletes and their possibility of participating. The middle school, we had cross country, as you know, we added some sports a couple years ago. 56 in cross country, grades 5 through 8. The boys were 6 and 2, the girls were 4 and 4. It's a great feeder program for our high school cross country program, which is hopefully you know or will know, that has had tremendous success. 12 students participated in the league championship. And that's 6 boys and 6 girls, and that's consistent with every school gets 6 boys and 6 girls. They're top runners to participate, and that was last week. We had 18 boys in boys soccer, second year in the program. It's been really well received last year and this year. That is quote unquote a little bit older team compared to our girls team. 8 8th graders, 9 7th graders, 1 6th grader. They were 10-0. They cruised through the regular season. They were the 1 seed in the league championship, which is just a 1 game winner takes all. Last year was the same scenario. We were the 1 seed, we hosted and lost. This year, we avenged the last year's loss to the same team and they won. So it was a great, great year overall, undefeated. The middle school champion in boys soccer, girls soccer, also a very successful season. They are younger compared to our boy counterparts, 8 6th graders, 7 7th graders, and 5 8th graders. They finished with a very respectable, highly competitive 4 and 5 record. In that league, only the top 2 teams make the championship. There's no tournament, just 2 teams make it, and so they did not make it to the playoffs. But all successful season nonetheless. Social media, very, very powerful. Just to give you an idea, Facebook, so you can see the numbers from this year to last year. I'm sure most of you are on there or see that every week. A nice long recap of the week before, and I try to include as many people as possible, as many pictures as possible. A lot of great feedback for that. Instagram is really the go-to social media for really, I think, for most people. 1,746 continues to grow daily, 1 or 2 new followers daily, and that is an incredibly powerful tool. Daily posts, I post those, the schedule every morning. Today, you'll see a post about the boys soccer team. Waiting for pictures. I was not at cross country today. So if I can't go to something, I recruit a parent or coach to send me pictures. So that why some of the pictures look better than others. Photography is not my strength, but I do the best that I can. So I'm waiting for those to come in. But I'll give you a report about that in a little bit. Just to give you an idea how many people Instagram and Facebook certainly, but Instagram reaches. The girls swim championship was a big event, obviously on Saturday. We hosted here. Our girls had a great day. They won their 25th state league championship. So that was posted on Saturday night and updated on with all the results on Sunday. Almost 11, it's actually over 11,000 people have seen that post as of 2 o'clock this afternoon. 11,000 people with views, and a view is, according to Instagram, is 3 seconds. So you go on there, it's not just you scrolling through and you don't really see it. You see it for a minimum of 3 seconds. So that reaches, the East Lyme brand reaches incredible amounts of people every single day and certainly weekly. The one Instagram post, and it's pretty traditional in my experience, it's like the big events get more views and more shares. The more share you have, the more views you have. The signing day that we had last spring, just looked at it because I can go back and see as the administrator of the site, over 24,000 people have seen that site. So that's like all over the world, obviously, see all the great things that East Lyme is doing. And to me, that's just it's a recruiting tool. It's just to get your brand out there. It's just share all of the great things that our student athletes are doing. I do want to add too, that's not on here, seeing Anna reminded me. So Anna was, CIC Athletics, which is the governing body of athletics in high school. Everybody has an Instagram page. They have an Instagram page. They have 17,500 followers. They have a huge following. Anna was the Serve Pro, and every week they do a Serve Pro Student Athlete Spotlight of the Week. She was the Student Athlete Spotlight of the Week last week from the CIAC. So she has a beautiful picture of her, a little write-up. She's a Board of Ed member, tennis, et cetera, and all the great things that she does. So again, logo's right on there. That gets, I don't know how many people see that because I'm not the administrator of that, but I'm sure that is tens of thousands of people. So very, very powerful stuff. That's the point as well. Class Act Leadership Council, very excited to report. We have 16 members, juniors and seniors. We attended, 9 of us attended the CIAC Sportsmanship Conference at the AquaTurf in October, where East Lyme High School was one of 28 schools in Connecticut to receive the Michaels Jewelers Achievement Cup. It's the first time that East Lyme has received that since 2015-16. It's awarded to schools that create positive environments for their student athletes through high standards of sportsmanship. We were the only school in the ECC to be recognized. I meet with this group twice per month to discuss athletic experiences of our student athletes and our spectators, as well as plan events, social officials appreciation recognition, game day themes, give back and community service initiatives, and anything else that music at a game. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Empowering them to be part of the decision-making process to make, again, games exciting. The other thing, I'm just thinking of it now, one of their big initiatives too, and mine is, and I know it's been mentioned here, is how do we get more people to the non-traditional games? I don't know if that's the right term, but get more people to swimming, girls, soccer, field hockey, et cetera, et cetera. So for senior night this year, some ideas work, some ideas do not work. This year for senior night, of all of those sports, we celebrate a senior night for every sport, every season. Fall athletes were admitted into those events free of charge, as long as they wore their East Lyme soccer gear or field hockey or whatever. So attendance was up slightly, not great, but it was late planning in that stages. So it might be something that gains momentum as we go on to increase those attendance at those games. So those are just some ideas. And then, of course, how great the fall season in terms of wins and losses just blows me away, the success of all of our programs. Our combined record is 90, 19, and 5 this year for all of our teams. That's unheard of. There's no team in the ECC, not sure about the state, but certainly in the ECC that's doing anything remotely close to that. Our teams have won 5 tournament championships. We were eligible to win 7. We played in 7. That's how many there are. There's no ECC football tournament. So to give you an idea of the amount of success, there's no school coming even close to winning that percentage, and also at the high stakes games, the tournaments. And so love posting banners, pictures of banners, and just celebrating all their success. And I think the kids enjoy seeing that as well. Specific highlights, boys cross country, they're incredible. They won their 8th straight ECC championship. And when I say like literally a landslide, like it was a landslide, they're just incredible. They finished 2nd at the Class MM state championship standing. Sam Leone, who's been here for winning the New England last year in indoor track, he won the individual state championship. They finished hot off the press today. They finished 3rd at the State Open today. State Open is all schools in Connecticut, not just by size. They finished 3rd. Last year they were 2nd. This year they're 3rd. Very, very consistent. Sam Leone won that one as well. So he's the State Open champion. There's not a boy in Connecticut that can beat him in cross country, period. It's incredible. He was the Domino's ECC sponsors. Well, Domino's sponsors a player of the year and a coach of the year for all sports. Sam was the ECC player of the year, runner of the year should be. And Mike Flynn was the coach of the year. Girls cross country, last 2 seasons have not been great for them. They have high expectations. Well, they're back on the map. They won the ECC championship this year, also in a landslide. It was their 7th in 9 years. They finished 2nd at the Class MM state championship as well. And today they finished 6th at the State Open. So there's only 5 schools in Connecticut that can beat them. Incredible. And Mike Flynn was the coach of the year for that. So he swept that award. It's probably the 8th year in a row. I don't know. He should get it every year. Boys soccer powerhouse, as you know, won their 4th straight tournament, 4-0 win over Ledyard last week. Caleb Trost was named the most outstanding player of that tournament. They're currently the #1 ranked team in Class L, and they are on our field as we speak. And I don't know what the score is, but I'm nervous. Wally was the Domino's coach of the year for the 2nd year in a row. Just a tremendous program. They have given up 2 goals the entire year. They're good on offense. They're good on defense. They're good in the middle. They're good everywhere. So very proud of them. And hopefully, as you know, they won the state championship 2 years ago. So hopefully they make a deep run this year as well. So they're hosting tonight, and if we're fortunate enough to win, we will host another game on Thursday as well. Time and wanted to be determined. Field hockey had a tremendous season as well. They won the regular season, ECC regular season. So there's regular season and then there's tournament championships. Some teams win both. Some teams win one or the other. One's not better than the other. It's just, they're just different. They won the regular season for the first time since 2019, and it's only the 6th time in the history of the field hockey program that they have won the ECC. Stonington is really, they run the league for the most part, but we have played very, very well over the last 3 years at least. They made it to the finals. They fell to Stonington in a really competitive game, 3-1. They were clearly disappointed, but they had a tremendous season. They're still playing. They had a tremendous regular season, ECC season. They are 15-3, and they host Simsbury tomorrow here on the turf field. That game's at 2 p.m. Callan Keefe was the Domino's ECC Player of the Year. She was the unanimous choice for that. Volleyball, also on fire. 3rd straight ECC tournament championship. They beat Woodstock in completely dominating fashion, 3-0. Finley Wilson was the tournament most valuable player. She's a senior on the team, standing player. They are 20-1. They lost the first game of the season against Ram. They play a very, very competitive out-of-conference schedule. The first game of the season was against Ram. They lost 3-2, played very, very well, but lost. And they've won every game since. And they've only lost 2 sets since. None against any ECC. They have not lost a game. They did not lose a set against an ECC team. Completely dominated the league. They are the top ranked team in Class L. They have a bye. They didn't know if they were going to play tonight or not until the pairings came out on Friday. They have a bye today and they play on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. If we're fortunate enough to win that, we play Friday, same night that we have a football game. Logistics problems, but life's like at East Line. It's great. And Jack Biggs was the Domino's ECC Coach of the Year. Previously mentioned girls swim and dive. They had a tremendous team effort showing. It's amazing to me to kind of watch them as they lead up to that championship because there's so much pressure for them and they put on themselves. They had won 24 straight ECC championships. They had a tie against Fitch in the regular season, won at Fitch, and they got beat here in our own pool here. So they were very stressed out leading into the whole tournament ECC championship. As they've done for 24 previous years, they pulled it together. Everybody did their part, and they won actually overwhelmingly against 2nd place Fitch in a great team effort. They had 571 points, and I think Fitch had 480 something points. Junior Sylvie Otter was the most valuable member of the event, and that's determined by who the swimmer that gets the most points at the meet. So she was named the most valuable member, and they'll continue on the ones that qualify into the state tournament for swimming and diving. We have 3 divers. We're the only school that has divers, and they're great. If you've seen any of the videos, I love the videos. I love them in slow motion. And I asked them, like, is that all right if slow motion? Like, no, don't put slow motion because it's too long. Nobody will watch that whole thing. Like, I do. I really like it. Oh, slow, but so I don't do slow motion. And then we have, very happy to say, Unified Soccer. We started that back up last year, kind of in the winter. We had a snow event, so it really didn't get up and running until the spring. We had some soccer. They practiced during the day here. They had a tournament at Waterford. So that's the first time they've participated in that event in I don't know how long. And they had a great time there. We have 12 students participating, athletes and partners. They will be transitioning to basketball this winter, and you'll be getting notified we'll do a really big senior night, basketball night where the gym will be packed, and it's going to be just a tremendous, tremendous night for those athletes and for everybody in attendance. Could also add that girls soccer, didn't mention this, didn't put this on this, I failed to mention this, sorry. Girls won their first state round game on Saturday. They play tomorrow at Weathersfield at 6 o'clock. And football is home the next 2 Fridays at 6:30. Maybe a time change on Saturday because of officials. That's the world we live in, but right now it's 6:30 this Friday, and the following Friday is their senior night. So that will be the last senior night of the fall. So that will, and then through Thanksgiving, that will conclude winter season or fall season. And we start right back up on December 1st. Wrestling starts back up. And girls basketball on December 4th. For everybody else, we already have and currently have 277 student athletes signed up. We have a new registration platform that we're using, Final Forms. It's been, by all indications, been very, very effective. The first time through parents, it's a little bit lengthy because they're now starting on a new platform, but after that, it's just click some buttons, bam, you go. And it's been a great tool for our coaches, trainer, and for the nurse as well. So it's a great visual. They pull up their roster, and if it's red, there's something wrong with that student. Their physical is expired or they're hurt or something. And if it's green, they're good to go. So that is it for me. Do you have any questions for me?
Okay.
Bill?
What's up, Bill?
Oh, no, so very, very impressive. I just, for me, the biggest win is the Class Act Leadership Council. As you probably know, I was going to comment, and I was happy to see Henry put it in the newsletter. I'm embarrassed. Well, I'm not embarrassed. I don't have Facebook or Instagram. I hope that you included the Class Act in those as well. And if they're not there, they're probably not going to get a lot of hits, but make me happy.
I think
I saw them
I think I saw
It
it.
was.
I'm pretty sure I saw them in there.
Yeah, I think,
33,061 views. 33,000, that shocks me too. Yeah,
all right.
that's crazy. Yeah, it was great. So where you get a lot of views, so I'm learning, I'm okay with social media, but I'm learning a lot. So when you tag like CIEC, when you tag them in a post, they have a huge following. When they share it, then it goes crazy from there. So you'll see and you won't see because you're not Facebook lucky. On Facebook, so I tag like East Lyme Community Connections, East Lyme Parent Connections, the high school, and then I ask some of them, like Henry's kind enough to share that post every week. So then it goes to everybody that's following that page, and it just goes, and it's incredible. So yeah, the Class Act folks, love them. They do a great job. I depend on them, right, to kind of watch the crowd. So football games, there's a lot of kids there, and a lot of things can happen at a football game. Those are the games that I get, the basketball and football. And so those are my allies. So they sit at the front monitoring what's saying, they're not like in charge of that area. Like I don't want them disciplining kids, but I want to empower them to be positive role models. And just as a sidebar too, so that section, the first football game, and I had failed to do this ahead of time. It's just too many things going on. The student section was a disaster. There's garbage everywhere. So who picks it up? Custodians have to come the next day and they pick all that stuff up. We met the next week. I showed them pictures. I actually reached out to them at night, some of the leaders. Said that it's unacceptable. This not who we are. So we came up, I did garbage bags up there for them. The last 2 home games, spotless. They pick up their trash. So they have pride in their area and it's empty. Now the adult section, not so hot, but the student section now is much, much better. Now, those are the Class Act.
Opportunity, maybe CIAC should have an award for some adult, teach the adults how to behave.
Olivia and then Vivek. And then Kate.
And now I have 2 questions. How do you choose the Class Act Leadership Council members?
I asked for recommendations. So when I was, there's a couple of different ways. In my previous district, I did a different way, which I think I'm gonna incorporate now that I'm much more familiar with the students here now. So I asked for recommendations from coaches. And they have given me them, and essentially, these are the 16 kids that volunteered, right? So I wasn't, I'd like to get to a point where it's more desirable to be part of that group. So it's like, yeah, I want to be part of the Class Act group. And then there's an application process. They fill out a short application. Why do you want to be part of this? What are your ideas? So I implemented that in my previous district. That was pretty effective. So that's more, it's not me asking them, hey, you want to be on this? It's them asking me if you want to be on that. So that's how it is now. And that's the direction I want to head.
That's awesome. I'm not familiar with the Unified Soccer Program. Just looking for some more background info on
Yep,
that.
so it's our special ed students partnered with our with a partner. So they, for lack of a better term, right? So I'm just trying to piece this together the right way. They have a partner, we have a special ed, so we have a student in a wheelchair. We have another partner who's helping them to score a goal. And there's different levels of disabilities for students. Some students, it could be, you know, they the range, it varies depending on their disability. And so they play that sport. So they're students who traditionally, they're not going to be on a soccer team. They're not going to be on the basketball team. They're not going to make that team. But it gives them an opportunity to compete in something and be a part of a team. It's a win-win for that I've seen in the time that I've been involved. It's the athlete takes great joy in being part of a team, and the partner takes great joy in helping that athlete be part of a team. So it's when you come, put it in your calendar, and we have the senior night basketball game. It's a special, special night. So you'll see it live, what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
We're waiting for
love
basketball
that.
because it
Thank
got
you.
canceled last year because of the weather.
Yes.
So, once we have the date, Kevin, I'll push it out.
Thank you for clarifying. I had the same question as Olivia, but I was not familiar with unified soccer. My question is, well, my point, it's great that we have this. How long have we had?
Well, since I've been here, we started in the winter. There was a unified program prior to COVID. I'm not sure, maybe.
Yeah, prior to COVID,
Probably
we
prior.
lost a coach and then it went dormant for a while, yeah.
So you need to find, well, no, I need to find a coach for that. So we have a special ed teacher that's here that has graciously agreed to be that coach all 3 seasons. It's a small stipend, very small stipend. And she coordinates, there's a lot of moving parts with that because the students have different levels of disabilities. So there's a lot of going on. There's some aides that have to go to events depending on, again, the student's disability. So there's a lot of coordination, and they don't play a traditional, like soccer plays 16 games. They played soccer, the unified soccer team. They practice during the day, during the advisory block a couple of times a week, once or twice a week. And then they'll go to, so schools will host events. So so Waterford hosted a soccer tournament. In the winter, we may host a basketball event. NFA hosts a basketball event. There, different schools do it differently. It's essentially you create your own schedule and you create an opportunity for those students to participate in whatever the sport is. It's soccer in the fall, basketball in the winter, and track and field in so it's not, they're not throwing a javelin, they're not doing the high jump, they're running and doing those kinds of things. So
Thank you for the clarification. I really appreciate you giving the details. I commend our school system that we are allowing this and providing an opportunity here. So, thank you very much for championing this and continuing.
you're welcome. Yeah, it was certainly when I came, it was a priority to find a coach and to start that program up again. It will only get bigger. It will only grow, and it will grow with athletes and will grow with other partners as well.
And thank you for supporting all our sports activities. Our teams are doing very well. So, you get some credit as well. So thank you for supporting everyone and keeping them competitive, and definitely the Class Act Leadership Council, that is definitely an achievement. Thank you for doing. With respect to the middle school, I had one clarification. One of the things that when we first discussed this, and then when we did agree to this, one of the things we were concerned about was, some kind of competition between the private leagues that the students play Has that been a problem? I'm just curious to see if the students have been any under more stress playing multiple teams or stuff like that.
I wouldn't use the word problem. I would say it's a challenge, but we're very clear, and Kathleen at the middle school as the athletic director and the coaches are very clear that if you sign up for the school team, that's your priority. You're playing for the school team. You're not missing practice for school to go to your club team. It's a choice you have to make. And so some students choose, there are some that do both. I don't know exactly what that number is. It's not a lot, but there are some, and there's some who chose to do their club team because it's quote unquote more competitive. And then there's some who may not make a club team, and we provide them an opportunity of playing on the school team. So it's just a choice. I don't know that it's a problem. I don't think it's adding more stress to kids in terms of they're doing two things and they're doing too many activities at the same time. They're making choices on which one they want to do. So, yeah, so we had a lot of kids sign up, and then once the coach shares that sentiment with them, they're like, okay, this isn't for me. I'm just gonna stay with my club team here, or yeah, I do wanna. And as they leave, it opens up opportunities for other kids that are not on the club team. So it seems to be working out for me. I haven't had any discussions or real communications with families or with Kathleen at the middle school that it's been a concern of theirs. So I think it's worked out. So
Okay, that's good to hear, because I was just hoping that we not having any issues. So it looks like it's not a problem. And does it, and in your assessment, you know, because we've had this program for maybe years now.
here's it.
Is it work, is it doing, is it helping being a feeder program for our high school?
Yes, there's no doubt, yes, but we have, as I said, the more competitive elite athlete in soccer in particular is playing in the club team. So having that middle school team did not help that child, but it did help that child who is not playing in that, but to get some experience. So our freshman boys team has been very healthy as a result of that. We hope that the girls team follows soon, so that we can again field different levels for our girls. This year we had a shortened JV season because we had injuries and there wasn't enough participation in girls soccer. So it's still early on in this program, and you see there was only, I think, 5 eighth graders in the girls program, 5 girls in the eighth graders, so there's not a lot there. But it certainly, it's hard to assess, is it helping the high school? I mean, it can't hurt it for sure, but I'm not saying, I can't say that, yes, it definitively is. We're now developing all these athletes at the middle school and they're coming here and they're ready to go. But it's helping, yeah.
No, that's a fair comment. You know, it's still early to say that. I mean,
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, if it helps develop a stronger bench, I think it's worth it. I think, and the kids are getting an opportunity to play. Plus we are also developing our teams, a stronger bench as we go forward.
I think, I'll just add one thing that I think is certainly helping, though. We kind of not restructured, but we took a look at what those programs look like in terms of time and structure at the middle school. We kind of beefed it up a little bit. Because they're getting to the high school like, oh my God, you practice 6 days a week? Oh, whoa, that's too much. I'm used to 2 days a week. So they practice more, a little bit longer. I'm not like significantly enough where it's impacting their academics or anything like that, but it's not just 2 days a week. So that is certainly going to help.
Probably our biggest issue at the middle school is space.
Space.
Yeah, that's what we've really grappled with over the last 2 years, trying to fit everything, because we added, the sports team, so, and making it work with Park and Rec as well.
We moved the games to the field. So they played next to the middle school. The field's not adequate. It's in rough shape. So they moved them to Bridebrook mid-season, and Parks and Rec was fantastic to work with, schedule them. It's great.
Thank you for supporting that.
Oh, my.
Hey, yeah,
Am I up?
yep, you're on.
Hey, Kevin, congratulations for all of what you're doing. You've hit the ground running, and I appreciate all of your energy and your enthusiasm and your professionalism and your successes. So, hats off to you. I think standing ovation is what you deserve. And your success with social media too. That's a platform that takes time, and you're building it. I also appreciate, Kevin, your honesty, talking a little bit about some of the things that happen that we're not necessarily proud of, but we need to address. The kids maybe not picking up after themselves that when they go to a game, and then knowing that they can do better. And even when the coach says, I was disappointed in your run, and then helping them to understand that, they have to continue to stay focused and lock in and do well. I'm wondering, two questions I have is about the cost of the equipment and uniforms. I know that's something that you've been doing a lot of, getting people to do donations on that. And how is that going? Are kids able to play? Is there anybody who doesn't have the opportunity to play basically because he or she doesn't have the financial support to be able to participate?
No, not that that's ever come to me. There's no instances of that. In terms of equipment, and we could all use more money, right, to buy stuff. But we have done a really good job in the athletic department of purchasing or getting donations to buy I like to say I buy like the extras with the donations, with the golf tournament and all the stuff that goes along with that. But we also have, with the school deal that we signed with BSN a couple of years ago. So there's rewards dollars that comes along with that. And so I'm able to supplement a lot of equipment, sports equipment, with those rewards dollars. And they're significant savings. So practice baseballs, all of our tennis balls were on rewards. I didn't buy one tennis ball, and we have plenty to go buy. So that was, I take pride in telling my coaches I've not had to say no to them for anything. Like, they're not asking for the moon and anything that's, crazy cost. But I've not had to say to a coach, you only get 10 dozen baseballs this year, not 20 dozen baseballs. So that has been very positive.
Well, that sounds terrific. And also, I remember when you were coming on board, and I said to you, I told you a brief story about when one of my kids was playing sports, and I apologized. I think I remember telling you this story. I apologized to the ref, and he was like, you owe me an apology. It wasn't me who was being disrespectful, but another one of the parents. And so have we gotten better as far as that's concerned, as far as how parents are acting, how the demeanor, I guess, the behavior?
It's hard for me to gauge. I haven't had any issues. So people, they know my style. That first year, I think I told the story here, I had to suspend 4 parents in the fall, actually, 4 games, had that hard discussion with them and point out their behavior was inappropriate. I have not had, I shouldn't say this because I'm gonna jinx myself, but I have not had to do that since then. So I can't complain, to be honest with you. I mean, parents are going to be parents and fans are going to be fans, but I don't see anything egregious. We have a security staff that is present and visible all the time. I'm present and visible all the time, so they see us, that we're around. We make announcements before the game. That's it's worth whatever that's on the paper, but it's all of that, I think, is helping. So
Sure.
I haven't seen it as an issue as of, certainly not in the fall. I haven't had one issue in the fall at all.
Well, Kevin, kudos to you again, because that's a change. That's a change from when my kids were participating. So thank you.
Well, I will
Appreciate
tell you that if there is a situation, it will get addressed, and, there will be a conversation, whether it be at that night or it'll be a phone call the next day. It will be pointed out, and there will be a conversation, and there will be there'll be, consequences even for adults. Like, you don't buy a ticket to go to a game. It doesn't give you the right to, belittle an official or certainly a kid on a team, high school student athlete. So it does get addressed.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Kate. Elisa?
I don't have a question, just a comment. And congratulations to you. I really appreciate the way the update is provided. It's really comprehensive. I like that it's not just about the wins and losses, but the coloring conversations that you're having now to kind of follow up with the questions, the percentages of student athletes that have been retained as enrollment has decreased, and just kind of really talking about the the character of East Lyme, and I think you kind of bring that sense of East Lyme pride to your update as well. So I like the way that this, that you brought this to us.
Yeah, we're all in it together. It's all part of the process. Thank you.
I had a few quick items. I'll go through them quick because I think a lot were said, but I think overall what done, plenty of success on the field or goal or course, but the culture that's being set is really what we as a board of ed are really, really important, more important probably than the success on the field, as much as we want the success on the field. So we appreciate, and that's why the middle school, and Vivek was talking about, is putting in the middle school sports was a big culture piece, and getting pride in the school and getting maybe some of the students who aren't able to participate on the club sports are able to kind of take pride and do something and do some. So really do appreciate all you've done there. The Instagram, I just have to appreciate so much, where you post the schedule every day of what's gonna come up. Cause it's hard on the CIAC to find them all. It's too much effort. And I go every day and I just go to the East Line, I see, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe I can make the soccer game or whatever. And I can see where I can see how they played today. Let me see how they did. So it really is appreciated, that you do that. And then my last comment, and this may be much more complicated than word, but, there are definitely, you mentioned that there are sports that get less attendance than others. And how do you get more students to those sports? And I do, which I really appreciate, and it'd be great if you can and you figure out a way. I know that some colleges do, where if you attend some of the less popular sports or less attended sports, you get kind of points. And so like if you go to a big football school, it might give you priority to get tickets to the football game because those are hard to get because you went to the boys swim and the girls soccer and the whatever those others. I don't know how you would do it here, and I don't know if it's but it is something that I know that some the bigger schools do, to try to get students to at least come to a half or something of those other games. So something to think about.
The Class Act group, just an idea too. They said one of their ideas was, again, we have a lot of ideas. It's just hard to implement everything.
Yeah.
Was a spectator of the week. So somebody who went to 5 games and give them something, t-shirt or something, whatever. So those are just, it's on our radar for sure.
2 more things I would do. One is what you just said. So at our school, I don't know if they're still using it or not, there was an app, a fan app, and it I don't know if it knew where you were or you when you come in, and it recorded you. And so there were students who were winning awards for attending the most sporting events. So I think there's an app for that is the answer to the question. I don't know.
Scan a QR code. That's a form of
So that's one thing, and I think that's a great idea. The Unified, I have not witnessed the Unified sporting event here, but I think that is also right in line with all your other efforts about improving culture. And that's a big one. And for the Board of Ed members that aren't unfamiliar with Unified, the students who are not special ed students who join Unified to help out, it's definitely a win-win. And it's a really cool thing that the relationships that, this is what I witnessed in our school anyway, the relationships that, and I think it definitely helps those kids who are the special ed kids just feel like they're all part of the school community and they're all in. So that's another big win, I think, for climate and culture too. So
Basketball game, just wait, it's
Yeah.
gonna be spectacular. It was the previous district, the best night of the year by far. Everybody was there.
so good stuff.
It's coming.
Thanks, Kevin, so much.
Let's get back to
Go-
soccer.
Yeah, go back to the soccer.
Thank you.
I'm not kidding when he says he's at everything, and it was Saturday all day at the ECC girls basketball. I think next year if we win again, the coaches traditionally jump into the pool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna recommend Kevin jumps in.
So when I see a video of Steve Hargis in the pool. Good night.
Okay, so we had an AI presentation by elementary students. We had our athletics update. Now is the
Most exciting
the
part
best
of the night.
part, most exciting discussion, Q1 budget projections.
You know it.
Yeah, that's.
No, I am.
And so we are presenting this.
Yeah,
Not this one,
Not this
the
Wednesday.
following Wednesday to the Board of Finance, so we do want to give an update to the Board of Ed.
and it goes to the Board of Selectmen
It
tomorrow,
does.
so they'll
Where's
the first.
Finance?
We have to by state, yeah,
Okay.
legislative, we have to send it, yeah,
Okay.
so. It will be down there, so both groups basically will see it. So,
Okay.
So.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't know it. I mean, obviously, I don't want to read everything on here. I just want to kind of give you what I did as far as my assumptions. It's still early in the year. This is as of September 30th. Obviously, I used information that I had through October to develop these, but I'm being conservative in my estimates just because it is so early in the year. We have no idea what's happening with electricity. Gonna have a good year, bad year. We looked at with overtime past couple of years, just because we haven't had really any bad winters. The bulk of the overages right now are in our tuition and transportation lines. There's a small overage right now that I'm projecting in health insurance because a few more people that had not taken health insurance took health insurance more than I had. I always factor in a couple of people, but we just had more taking it than, than historically have been taking it. And some of highlights we have, just not only to focus on the negatives, but like we do have the excess funds that are sitting in the salary lines. Those are as a result, we have some openings that have not been filled yet. I did factor in some, expending some funds in those lines, but right now that's what's accounting for the overage, the availability and like the paraprofessional line. We have a lot of vacancies in the paraprofessional line. We have a few vacancies in our certified staff right now. So that's kind of where we are with that. And then with the custodians, which is also a larger amount, we had some delays in hiring. We had some people retiring. So obviously it takes a little while for people to get on board. I don't know if anyone has any questions on any of this.
I don't know, but can you just go into a little more detail on driver, because I think special ed is the big driver of over. If we go into that, and then maybe Jeff and Annalise just talk a little bit. Any of the open positions, are they impacting our ability to deliver our educators? So like paras and the open certified staff, is that what impact that's having. Maybe you start with a special ed that's driving.
Sure, and Kim is here, so she can obviously, talk
Yeah.
more specifically about the tuition, which is really, as you can see, like a big factor there. I only budgeted that we're getting back 60% of excess cost. Last year, they did give us back about 70%, but it was like an additional amount. It was extra. They voted on it kind of toward the end of the year. So I'm only using the 60%. Obviously, if we get 70%, that will help. But right now it's just budgeted at 60%. I think Kim can give you more information as to why, the number of students, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, we just have a needier population right now of students who have intensive social, emotional, mental health, behavioral needs. As I pulled up the list to just kind of look, they're primarily at the upper middle school and high school level. So I think not that we want to always go back to COVID, but we were concerned about sort of a COVID, overage, spillover. It's not a great word, and I think that these are some of the kids impacted in different ways around that. And so, obviously we can't forecast that always. But I budget, like Jeff asked us for, zero-based budgeting, who's in and out of district. So many of these students were placed after the budget was solidified last school year, and into the spring, and even to, I think, over the summer, that we placed. We didn't get any move-ins this year, but last year, remember, we got 4. So that, was a factor. Those students are all still here. So they continued with us. And we're always working on bringing students back as an option, and talking about that as a goal. So they're in various stages of, that sort of transition as well. There's a few students who will move off just by aging out next year and being too old to meet the special education eligibility under our umbrella. We'll lose 2 students that are currently on this out of district list to turning 22. So yeah, we just have a needy crop of kids right now, and that, sort of and when tuition goes up, so does transportation, because we have to get these students to their placement. So they always go hand in hand, just in case anyone isn't familiar with that. And then our vacancies, I would say, they definitely impact, because then if a person who is on staff is absent, it just magnifies the vacancy situation, because then there's less coverage to go around and things like that. So
Trying to fill.
we're trying to fill.
Yeah.
We're working on it. It's a trickle. I would say we get, I think we got 2 paras last month, in the month of October, and, we have many vacancies posted at the moment. So.
Thanks. Bill.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding this. So the projected available balance in the paraprofessionals and the staff is almost $700,000. If we filled all those positions from the beginning of the year, would that available balance be 0? Which means we'd be almost
Yes.
$700,000 in the red. Well, 600 and
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
Yes,
Correct.
you're correct.
Yeah. Well, hence we're
Ouch.
Yeah, we were very cautious for a period of time in October of how many positions we were posting, because we were monitoring those special ed dollars, because there was some concerns with the overages. So it's balancing itself out a little bit more now, but it's a lot. And again, we still have a number of postings filled. So they're open.
If we had filled all of what we posted.
If we had
it would
filled
be-
all of them, we would
be in
be
a tough
probably
spot right
talking
now.
about, a tough spot. Yeah, with again, the 4 new ones that moved in, and just where the costs have gone, special education. So.
Just a PSA, for not everybody, well, we were all in favor of creating the non-lapsing account, but maybe not everyone was in favor, but these are the things that we face. So then when we have this non-lapsing account, we do have at least a little bit of a safety net of, as these things happen to us during the year, that we can cover some of that. So that is one of the reasons we have a non-lapsing. I have Olivia and then Jamie.
The vacancies and the hiring and positions that are open, is this like a new trend that there would be so many vacancies, or this is something every year?
It's pretty much what we see, especially in the world of paraprofessionals, we've seen consistently. You know, we start to get ahead a little bit and then another one or two might resign and go somewhere else, or, you know, it's.
Very transitional position, the para position, so.
Okay, yeah, I just was curious, like from a culture standpoint, if this was something new that. All right. Good to know.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I'm gonna ask the question anyway, just to make sure I do know the answer. Federal shutdown. The dollars, we've already gotten everything for the year, correct? So does it affect us, or
It's
is it gonna affect us just for student lunches, or?
right now,
Yeah, there's
it's
no
not
impact.
impacting us.
We get updates. I just actually shared with
Yeah.
both of you today from the state. We're still receiving the funding.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure.
And just so the title grants, those are done on a drawdown basis. We don't get that. We have to do a drawdown on a regular basis, but those grants have not been.
And the school lunch program, that money's
in our funds. Yeah, every month. we
That's what
find-
I thought, but I just wanted to make sure I
Yeah, no,
was
good.
remembering correctly. Okay.
News.
Mariana, thanks, Kevin. Okay, moving on, discussion action items, other. We have our discussion Board of Ed goals review. So if you recall, we set our goals in August, September. We want to have 3 updates on our goals. Last year, we actually didn't do our first until March, and we said this year we're gonna do one in November. So it's November 3rd. It is early to have one, but we do have at least an update and we can go through.
Yeah, I can, last year, we'll start this up, you know, the next one with color coding, some progress updates. Right now, it's really just kind of looking at, is there anywhere that we're off the mark, like we're concerned about, you know, reaching one of those goals, and that's not the case right now. You know, pathways, we just heard a report last meeting, the meeting before last meeting from Mr. Fasulo. You know, we're on par with that information. I haven't gotten to a point yet of talking about collecting information, the impact of the Pathways program on student, college, and career planning. That will come forth, you know, establishing that baseline. So during our next report out, we'll be talking a lot of information about that. Vision of the graduate, we're engaging in some vision of the graduate work. So we will be beginning to connect that with Pathways as well, still a little early. Culture and climate, you know, you've seen, we've already, you know, I've invited some folks for some recognitions that will continue on par there. You know, by December of this year, the district and each school building culture and climate committee will develop culture and climate improvement plans. So we've got the improvement plans underway. So there's nothing that, you know, we're concerned about right there. That's ongoing.
The surveys will go out in a couple of weeks. And CCI committee had some discussion around those questions and what that would look like, so good space there.
That last bullet at the bottom, fostering the continued sense of belonging and greater student experience. We've got cohort 3 as part of the Learn work that we've done the last 3 years. So they're up and running. Cohort 1 and 2 are also running. That's continuing to work on our engagement with you know, trainings you know, through Learn and building a sense of belonging with all students. Back the last one for goal number 2. Between the months of October and June, Board of Ed student representatives will have the option to participate. And we are continuing to talk with them. Sometimes, you know, Andy kind of shot out of here tonight. I think she's busy, but we will continue to offer to them if they want to, you know, remain for the full meeting. You know, please, we encourage them to do that. So we'll keep those connections. And then high level instructional practices assessment and development. We're ahead of the game here. You know, we already had 2 meetings on the school realignment plan. So we bring forth some recommendations in December on that. We've had 1 meeting on the world language piece. Going to work with Esteban on getting the 2nd meeting, but a lot of that was contingent on you're doing with the realignment. So, I'll talk to him about kind of where we left our last realignment committee. For the development on AI, again, we've had another presentation, tonight, so that's continuing to progress. And the last one under that bullet, or that goal of collaboration administrative support, where we discussed the high school course offerings. With the goal of establishing a median class size of 20 to 27. We've got a meeting this Wednesday at 5 o'clock. That's our first meeting. Mr. Kidd's gonna be bringing data, at least myself will be there. So we're looking forward to that conversation. So doing well there. District marketing, branding, and social media, we are riding Kevin's coattails, trying to catch up with his social media exposure, but in progress, well as generating revenue dollars through paid advertising as well. So for the most part, we're on track. No concerns at this point with our goals, and we'll be able to do more vertical. It's still early. It's more along the lines again of what the things we're not hitting, but we're hitting the mark on all these so far. So any questions at all on that, Vivek?
I have a very quick one. So you put the dollar amount of $10,000. What was the revenue last year?
Oh, gosh, well, I think we're up over 30.
Yeah, we had a really good, because
5,000.
Kevin got that
Yeah.
really big.
Big foundation, yeah.
$1,000 grant or 10,000, yeah, it was a good sized grant.
Some foundation. Oh, I can't
And the
remember the name.
woman that he had.
Yeah, it's a little me as well.
with it.
It's not
Yeah.
Ronnie, no,
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I don't remember.
But that's a windfall, right? So if you exclude that.
if you exclude that, yeah, well, that was 10,000 off of the 34, so 24 over 20,000. Yeah, we should almost, because that's a yearly donation now, we should almost kind of exclude that and focus on the new monies that are brought in. So I'll bring that up with Kevin as well.
My one quick comment, and I know the student representatives, especially now, it's probably a tough time of year. But maybe we can focus, like the AI discussion we had, it may have been helpful for me to be here. Giving the high school perspective of what the elementary school students were talking about, so you could see the link of. What the high school student is thinking from that, so, but some of the other topics. The budget update and things like that, it'd be nice for them to hear, but maybe not as important, so maybe we can. As we structure the agenda, we can also, if there's things that we want them to be at, we can. Put everything, but try to put it earlier.
Yeah, because I can go through it with Mr. Kidd, who's meeting with, Henry's meeting with the reps as well.
Yeah.
So definitely say, hey, we might want to see if they can stay for specific, and then we can try and adjust the agenda too, to maybe have those topics earlier. So the kids, if they do need to depart.
And I think Annie was here back to back times.
Yes.
And that's because the other two
Yeah,
replaced
yeah,
us, so
yeah.
to be fair to her. She's not supposed to be here each time, so it isn't supposed to be as big a commitment, but she covered, so.
Yes, and we've got 3 reps, remember now
Yeah.
too, so. That's a 2.
Questions for that? Thanks, Jeff. Moving on, we have for discussion action. The policy review, and I'll turn it to Elisa, but we updated this to include Jamie's comments to the policy side, but I'll turn it over to Jeff or Lisa.
Yeah, it's in its second read, and we made those adjustments as it was being reviewed between first read and second read.
I think initially went into the consent agenda, we pulled it out to have that discussion to incorporate that change, and that's coming to the board tonight, and it's redlined. To include the, incorporate the mission statement onto the agenda. I think we've been doing, but now we're stating.
Further discussion?
Just for tech, for clear, I don't know if it's clarifying or what, but I don't understand the verbiage of the first review, because wouldn't it be a second reading? I think that's where I was just super confused when I was reading this. It says first review of the policy, but this is the second one, correct?
Maybe it was a rollover and we just forgot to change. Oh, you know, it should say second review.
That's what I thought, but I was confusing myself when I read this the other
Yeah,
day. and
it's that when we developed the agenda, so.
just making sure I wasn't confused, because I did read it and I'm like, no, this is the second time. Okay.
Yeah, good catch. So that should say second review of policy 9325.
Does anyone want to make a motion?
Motion to approve the vision of policy 9325.2 as presented.
Further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Motion passes. Okay, that closes our discussion action items for the night, and we move on to administration reports, and Jeff.
Everybody saw that invite for the Veterans Day. He's at the middle school. It's in that envelope. Again, we have the high school in the morning. If anybody wants to come to the high school, just shoot me a text or, you know, and I'm happy to do those times. It's a great day, and it's happening next week. I'm excited for next Tuesday. As we kind of mentioned earlier, the Board of Selectmen tomorrow night will be going back down. I put my weekly update Friday about the pool. We'll just explain to them about the not getting reimbursement on the pool roof. And then that will be talked about the Board of Finance the following week, and also the Board of Finance will provide them financial projections update that we kind of just went over. So that's the 12th. So the 5th and then the 12th, 5th Board of Selectmen, 12th Board of Finance. Congratulations on, if you saw it, but everybody got a copy, the Distinction Board of Distinction Award. So level 2, East Lyme is one of 8 districts that will be recognized at the Cape Caps conference once again. So kudos to the work that the board continues to do. That's great. So we get another picture with the commissioner and 2:15 that afternoon. So if you're attending Cape Caps, perfect.
Thanks to Carissa for filling out all the.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
For that.
She puts a lot of time and effort into that. So it's great to be recognized again. And my last thought I just had tonight, you know, it's excellent having, you know, Kevin come and give, you know, a report out on the sports, and it's an in-depth report. He does a wonderful job. Love to try and work with Henry on to hear more. I know Henry comes and does kind of a broad, you know, approach to our goals as it pertains to the high school, but the arts, the music, a greater report out in some capacities. I'm going to work with him on seeing if maybe we can get, you know, somebody from those 2 departments to come and give a more comprehensive.
Maybe they could come and sing something or do something from the play this weekend or something.
Maybe.
Right, of some stuff going on.
Yeah, just, you know, we've Kevin does a great job. We've got a dedicated.
Play this weekend.
Yeah, yeah, the play, that's right. The play is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, this weekend too.
Cold vacation tonight.
Yeah, so I just thought when Kevin was presenting, I'm going, we've got to get a broader, you know. Again, great work, and we don't want to, you know, dismiss what's happening in the world of sports, but there's some amazing things happening in the world of arts, you know, so we're gonna work on that. Yeah.
Can we do that before the winter concert?
We're
meeting
yeah.
before the winter concert.
Yeah, let me see if I'll talk to Henry to see if we can get a group to come and try and do a share out of some sort.
Great things about the music program.
Good,
So,
excellent.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
hear good things about it.
And we've got some very talented and dedicated, you know, music teachers, so, and band, so.
So though I will definitely totally support that suggestion that we need to do that. But what I would suggest is all the competitions, or most of the music programs, they occur more in the winter. So if you really want to hear about the achievements, because a lot of the students, they make it to Eastern Regional, some of them make it to state. So if you want to hear the achievements, it would probably be best after the winter. Season.
Yeah, that's a good point too. You'll see in my weekly update this Friday, the band just had a
Say the
competition.
band just got second or third.
Yeah, they got second.
Yeah.
Yeah, States, but that's a good point. Why don't we capture all of it maybe later? Maybe we get into that January, February timeframe. So I'll talk to Henry. and We'll look to get something on the agenda for music and arts at that time. So thank you.
Not just the high school.
No, we can expand to the middle school too.
And then what?
Yeah, sure. Why not? We could try and do a.
Just like an overall arts, it doesn't have to be just Henry, it could be.
No, that's a good point, Jamie. I know I'm talking high school, but you're right. Look, middle school and elementary too.
I'm totally on board with all of that, and I was just gonna add that if we're not doing it already, Evan was telling us about his being strategic on the, social media posts where the tagging of the,
Literacy, and other, yeah.
that go,
Greater audience. Definitely. Thank you. That's all I said.
Thanks, Annalise.
Biggest news out of my office is that tomorrow is November 4th, which means election day, which means professional development day for teachers. So we have lots of things planned across all three levels tied to our district improvement plan. I'll follow up with an update to the board on Friday with some pictures. But long story short, some wit and wisdom and math work at the elementary level, split in that day and half. The high school is working on their engagement effect continuation, their PD around student engagement. And so there's some breakout sessions in the morning and then application of that learning by department in the afternoon. And the middle schools is also focused on some, PD around student learning profiles and planning intentionally for the students in front of them, and then some department-based work in the afternoon as well. So that's some high quality professional development planned by some of our own best of our own internally. So.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Annalise.
Yep.
Anna?
Again, working on the budget. I don't think the update.
Yeah, our budget workshop is rapidly, first one is rapidly approaching, the 17th of November, so 16 days. We'll be Get ready.
Okay, we had a policy review committee. We didn't have one.
Sorry.
Okay, yep.
It's
Okay.
fine. There will be a few that will, end up coming forward after our next policy meeting in December. Okay, minor.
Good. And then, Eve?
At CCI meeting.
You had CCI. Oh,
Yeah.
did I miss that one? Sorry about that.
It's all right.
CCI.
Yeah, well,
Last Monday.
Last Monday.
Yeah, last Monday. That's-
Yeah, so I finally woke up and we scheduled a meeting where everyone else could attend, so we went from 25% attendance to actually 110% because we had guest Kate was there as well. So it was a really productive meeting in that we everybody was giving some input and it was went better than just Lisa and I. So it's really good. We took we focused really on the Satchel Pulse survey data and prep to try to look for what questions we're sending out, make sure we're being consistent with that. We also kind of honed in on where our low points were and kind of cross-referenced the low points for the students with kind of the same low points were for the teachers. And we generated some ideas and Lee had an idea to also try to improve parent feedback, and we certainly want to make sure that as we introduce this next survey, we talk about the results from the previous one. So we're getting people to fill out the survey knowing that we're looking at the results and acting on it. And ultimately, we want to try to help guide each of the school plans so that when they go for the anecdotal data, we're kind of honing in on the areas that we think were most important. So I thought it was pretty productive.
You think, because you had it on an off Monday from our normal schedule, which we started to talk about doing, because Mondays we kind of lock up. Do you think that helps?
I definitely think it helps, and we also threw a little form out and kind of gave some times and we went with where all the times overlapped for everyone. So we probably should do that each time we host a meeting, just to make sure that they're. And we did a Zoom link too, because 2 people attended Zoom, so, but it was definitely, we should have done that earlier, bottom line.
Just getting better and better.
Yeah. Thanks, Bill. Amy, Kate.
Hey, Jeff, thank you, sent out the blue booklet to everybody who hasn't received it at home. If you have any comments, suggestions, changes, rewrites, additions, can you please get it to me Monday before the 20th so that I can present it at the delegation? That the delegate assembly is the 20th, so that was your blue book. There's a digital well-being in the age of social media and AI webinar on November 6th. Delegate assembly is the 20th. The convention is the 21st to the 22nd. CABE new board member orientation and leadership conference is December 9th. 2026 legislative issues and advocacy webinar is December 16th. There are 3 school finance webinar series coming up. Dive deep into budget development, January 13th. Dive deep into the budget adoption process, February 25th. These are all a little too late, but best practices for financial oversight is March 19th. And I just wanted to say thanks to Jeff and Annalise for answering questions I put out about being on a state committee for professional development. And you helped me out. I don't have a meeting set yet, but thank you for your time and response to my call for help. Appreciate it. And that's it for CABE.
Thanks, Amy. Any questions for Amy? I have not had my next learn meeting is next Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday, I can't remember. District-wide ad hoc committees, the high school vision committee.
Yeah, we did.
Since the last, right?
No, not since the last.
Not since the last. We've
no.
given it.
And at the next meeting, we'll be doing the feasibility study, so.
Right, yes. So that's good. So we will be. Will be outside company.
They will be here.
Right?
Yes, on the
So the
17th.
people, we did the first. We'd approved, if you remember. It must have been like April. May, so right after the budget. We had approved the first part of that outside company looking and doing analytics on. High school and what's good, what's bad, what needs improvement, and so they're gonna read out to us. On next meeting, and we were inviting the board.
The feasibility stuff.
The architectural firm, it's, one we owns, no. It's eluding me.
Sorry.
I can put some information in
Yeah.
the update too, because we're gonna invite the Board of Finance, Board of Selectmen if they'd like to come and listen in on that.
Is that a board meeting or is that a special? meeting?
Nope, it's a regular.
No, that's gonna be at our
Yeah.
board meeting.
Yeah, just at our.
We're gonna get a readout. And we just they were still working on some of the, so we just got a real. Quickie update. Last vision. Meeting, which was.
Yeah, it was kind of a brief. Yeah, weeks ago, I think. It was 2 weeks ago. Silver Petroself.
Thank you.
Yeah, it just took me a minute to remember, so.
Then as soon as you started saying it, I remembered it.
So that'll be I think it could end up being a long discussion, but I think it'll be really informative. And just start thinking about the next step. What the next step could be. We haven't had an elementary global language update. We did have a school reorganization committee. Lee wasn't able to attend. She asked if I could give the update, but please. And Jeff, is anyone else there? Please. So one of Kim was there as well. You remember we were kind of started out thinking about, maybe shift grades, like what schools and have an intermediate school and started discussion, do we need to start having an outside company kind of do analytics for us and look at this, but him and Annalise and others, but he started, saying, well, there's other ways we can approach this and look at it. And it came up with some good creative ideas that we need to look at more. So we're not ready for an outside, and we may never need an outside analysis. I think we need to do more work, let Lisa or Kim talk more for Jeff. But really taking a look at, is there a different way for fifth grade, looking at the plot at the middle school and how we deliver education. So it might not change our buildings, it just changed kind of the way we deliver an education. It could change, there's options to also change how we structure our buildings as well. But I think we have more work to do and more to analyze versus diving into, which is a pretty big change. Changing the makeup of our schools, and there might be other ways to achieve what we want to without doing something like that. So.
One being redistricting, again, or pockets of redistricting potentially.
I think redistricting is probably almost unavoidable. I at some point, I mean, again, it's not next year, but at some point, because we're seeing that, again, we got our schools, elementary schools balanced. 5-7 years ago, whatever, they were somewhat balanced. They're not balanced anymore again. So, so we need to.
It's one piece to learn.
Annalise?
Well, I mean, just, we looked academically at the data, and so we had color coded the different districts in their models, who has a K2, 3, 5, 6, 8 model versus a K5, 6, 8 model versus a K4, 5, 8 model. And we clustered all of our districts by color, and then we plotted those, the comparative graphs I do for the board. We color coded those, and essentially the trend was that it was evenly distributed. It didn't matter the model, that districts were all over the board with regards to their performance index and the school model. So essentially, that information sort of led us to the conclusion that shifting the model isn't necessarily going to impact student achievement. It may have other benefits if we wanted to approach it, but it's not looking like it has an impact on student achievement in relation to our DERG. So that was just a piece of information that we'd looked more closely at the meeting.
There were some other ideas that came up that we're going to talk about some more, and we need to kind of talk about them more before discussing them here, but there are some other ideas that could help student achievement, and I think we need to just do more talk.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to the Old Saybrook assistant superintendent around the 5th grade model, and we saw that 5th grade does, has actually sees an increase in performance from 4 to 5. And even though that 5th grade is in the middle school with grades 6 through 8. And it's very much looks like a more elementary model than a middle school model in that grade. So that's definitely a space that
change buildings, but don't change model.
Looks a little different, but
Yeah.
right, yes, yeah. So we're learning from other people, different things, and we have some, some other ideas in the cooker.
No, that's
covered.
Any questions? Probably a lot of questions, but we'll
Might meet that mark of December to kind of report out. but,
December?
We might not meet that mark of reporting in December.
Well, there might be partial, it's gonna be, it's a different report out than maybe we planned when we put our goals. Yeah.
I do have lots. Not the time for them.
Yeah. Okay, moving on, board comments and future agenda item.
Just a quick one, because it's my favorite time of year. When you leave, go look at the wall in the office. It is like my favorite thing that we do this, and we've done it forever and ever. The wall of veterans. It's so moving just to see all the veterans that have cycled through our district and have touched our lives. So that's it.
Thanks, Jamie.
I love that wall.
Thanks, Jamie. Kate and then Vivek. Okay.
Hi, so my husband and I are planning to go to see The Importance of Being Earnest on Saturday, if anyone wants to join us for the matinee. So, we talk about doing things together as a board. That'd be a fun thing to attend and to support the arts. The second thing is that my YouTube channel, we're talking all about growing the metrics in that. And I had a couple of really good interviews recently. I'm up to 119,000 followers, and everyone should watch the one on Ed Wido. Ed is oftentimes our security guy at the front desk when we walk in, and my interview with him is up to 8,000 views. Ed was a firefighter for 57 years and saved countless lives. So talking, Jamie, to your point about honoring our heroes, he is truly a hero, but is simultaneously one of the most humble people I've ever met, and just truly, truly an amazing person. And then the last one I did most recently was Joe Bragad. Joe is director of our public works in town. And he is doing an amazing job and talking about composting, and was singing high praises for I always draw a blank on her first name.
Narcissus Green.
Narciss. I always want to call her Caris, but it's not. It's Narciss Green. Thank you, Jeff. A shout out to Narciss Green for the work that she's done on the composting and how that's going to become a federal mandate coming down the pike. So we're going to be ahead of the game on that. So I'm really proud that we've stepped up to that. And there's going to be, I don't know if it's an unfunded mandate, but it's going to be something that's going to be happening. So we're already kind of a leader in that. I think oftentimes East Lyme leads in various ways, and that's definitely proof of that. So thank you again.
Kate.
Great, thanks, Kate. Vivek.
So I pay attention to the personnel notices, and one of the things I noticed is there are two teachers, who are retiring into 2026.
Yes.
And then there is a resignation. So we talk about budgets, we are talking about class size consolidation as well. Just again, I don't want, not expecting answers today. I'm just kind of bringing it to your attention. I'm hoping you'll factor some of these things, because there are some teachers here we probably absolutely need to replace because we need them.
Yep.
But from a perspective of the budget and the class size, just want to bring it to your attention. That's all.
Reading our mind. Yes, absolutely. Vivek. Thank you for great observation. We are aligned with that.
Well, tomorrow is election day. Please, everyone go out and vote. And Bill, Olivia, Vivek, Lisa, and Lee remotely, good best of luck tomorrow. So thanks, everyone.
Make motion to adjourn.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, thanks. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, we are adjourned.